Listen closely, a long-hidden shadow has finally been lifted, and the truth is now being revealed. For years, a prominent case loomed over the city like a dark cloud, discussed in whispers, written about in muted tones, and believed by many to be beyond the grasp of justice. Tonight, that cloud dissipates. The case has been solved. Someone has been apprehended. Not a nameless suspect from the news, nor a minor figure you could easily overlook, but a name that will take you by surprise, a person you would never have imagined seeing in handcuffs. Who is this individual? What was this complex, painful case truly about? The answers are intricate, and they are not arbitrary. Here's the most disturbing part. To resolve this case, the authorities have been listening while you sleep. For 3 months, they have placed their ears close to your walls, intercepted the quiet of your home, and tapped into your house silently while you went about your life, oblivious. Why your home? What connection in your life linked you to this investigation? What hidden relationship has woven your name into that extensive, tangled file? All of this, every motive, every concealed link, every reason for the surveillance, will be disclosed in the message that follows. My dear, prepare yourself, for this is not mere gossip or speculation. This is the revelation of a truth that has been unfolding quietly. You were not monitored by coincidence. You were not drawn into this narrative by chance. There is intent behind every wire, every hour of eavesdropping, and when you hear the complete story, you will comprehend why the investigators approached your door in secrecy. Stay with me, for what comes next will unveil the perpetrator, clarify the crime, and demonstrate how the past you believed was closed has been the very key that unlocked this long-guarded case. My dear, indeed, it's true. Authorities have just solved a high-profile case. And what makes this case even more significant is this: it had been pending, unresolved, and unsettled for so long that people had started to murmur. They had begun to claim that this case would never reach a conclusion. Yes, my child. Doubt started to creep in, not just about the case itself, but also regarding the progress made by the authorities in charge. The burden of this case had grown too immense, too prolonged, too neglected. But now, everything has shifted because this case has at last been resolved. And now the authorities can breathe easy, as they have finally apprehended the individual accused in this matter. Yes, my child, pay attention. The person they have taken into custody is not just anyone. It is someone you should certainly be aware of. And before you inquire, Lord, who is this individual? Why are you sharing this case with me? There is something urgent I must disclose. Something significant. Something you cannot overlook. It is this: to resolve this very case and capture the main perpetrator. The authorities have been covertly monitoring your home. Yes, your very residence. For the last 3 months, without your knowledge. Consider that. My child, while you were going about your days, sleeping at night, and living as if everything was ordinary, they were eavesdropping. Yes, my child. And the question that is likely burning within you is this: why? Why your home? Why your name? Why your family? Because your link to this case runs deeper than you realize. And all the details of this enigma will be unveiled in this very message. So lean in. Do not look away, for what I am about to reveal will enlighten you. So let us commence. My child, to share everything with you, I must take you back just a few hours. Yes, my child. Inside a grand briefing hall where chairs were arranged in rows, cameras flashed even before the officials entered, and the atmosphere was thick with tension, questions, and murmurs. "Yes, my child." That was the ambience of the hall as the officials were on the verge of disclosing everything about this case. And then the heavy doors swung open. The authorities strode in, their steps firm, their expressions composed, yet their eyes conveyed a different narrative. Relief intertwined with fatigue. As they settled into their seats, the microphones were pushed forward. Journalists sprang to their feet, shouting questions, for the case had lingered too long. Now, the world was demanding answers. The lead investigator then cleared his throat and uttered the words everyone had been eagerly anticipating. "We have cracked the high-profile case." The moment those words escaped his lips, gasps echoed throughout the hall. Pens began to furiously scribble notes. Cameras zoomed in closer, and the tension erupted into chaos as questions filled the air. Who was arrested? How did they locate him? What evidence broke the silence of an entire year? The officials responded calmly, meticulously, detail by detail. But then came the revelation that stunned every person in that room. The investigator leaned closer to the microphone and stated, "To apprehend the culprit, we had to secretly tap into several homes over the past 3 months. Yes, my child, including yours. Your home was under surveillance. Your walls were eavesdropping. Your house was part of this covert operation. But why your home? What was the true nature of this case? And most importantly, who was arrested? These are the answers I will disclose next. So lean in, my child, and if you are prepared to uncover the truth, grant me your final few minutes, for everything will now be unveiled. Let us begin, my child." What the investigator disclosed next sent shockwaves through the room, plunging it into silence. He revealed that this was no ordinary case. For an entire year, bodies surfaced, one after another, and each time, traces of drugs were found in their pockets. Imagine the gravity of those words, my child. Journalists froze, cameras slowed. And the atmosphere thickened with dread, for lives had been stolen one by one over the course of a year, and no suspect had been identified. The city quaked under the burden of unanswered questions. The case morphed into a shadow, a haunting specter. Chaos without resolution. Yes, my child. This is the nature of sin. It creeps in. It silently destroys. It thrives on fear and confusion. As stated in John 10:1, the thief's purpose is solely to steal, kill, and destroy. Just like the enemy operates in silence, this darkness did the same, taking lives, shattering families, and leaving behind a trail of grief. But then the investigator leaned in closer, and his next word struck deeper than before, for what the officials disclosed next was even more unsettling. The case was not a coincidence. The pattern held significance. The deaths were not accidental. Yes, my child. For a grueling 12 months, there were no answers. But 3 months ago, everything shifted when authorities received a letter. A letter that turned the investigation on its head. A letter containing secrets too grave to overlook. A letter that directed them to individuals and locations they had never considered. And that letter, my child, is the key that broke the silence, the spark that ignited the path to the truth. But what was inscribed in that letter? Who was its sender? And why did it lead them right to your doorstep? This is what I will disclose to you next. Yes, my child. 3 months ago, an anonymous letter arrived. Handwritten, without a name, no return address, and no fingerprints. Inside, there was only one thing written, a location, a neighborhood, yours. The officials could not disregard it because they had no other leads, no clues, no trail. They were uncertain if the letter was a warning or a trap. They didn't know if it contained truth or deceit. But one thing was clear, they could not ignore it. So they tapped. They listened. They observed. Yes, my child. For 3 quiet months, their attention was on your neighborhood and even your home. Reflect on that for a moment. While you slept, while you went about your daily life, while you enjoyed your peace, the investigation's focus was close to you because the letter pointed directly to the very ground you tread upon. Yes, my child. The letter guided them here, to your street, to your walls, to your doorstep. And when they followed its lead, they found him. The one responsible, the hidden figure, the individual who eluded capture for an entire year. But pay attention. This is just the beginning of the truth. For the identity of this person and their proximity to your life will disturb your soul. Indeed, my dear, the reality is closer than you realize. When I disclose the identity of the culprit, you will feel its heaviness. So remain with me. Do not look away, for what I am about to unveil will cut deeper than anything you have heard before. My dear, the one who caused a year of fear was not lurking far away in some remote place. No, he was nearby. Too nearby. Living in the very neighborhoods you know, treading the same paths, inhaling the same air, all the while orchestrating his campaign of chaos right under the noses of those who believed they were secure. Yes, my dear, the shadows were never far off. They moved silently, functioning in plain view. But here's the part that no one in that briefing room could ever articulate. The letter that altered everything did not originate from an ordinary source. No, my dear. It was not born from fear. It was not penned out of vengeance. It was not merely the work of humanity. It was a message dispatched from heaven itself. Crafted to appear human, disguised as mundane, yet divine in its timing. Delivered to the world at the precise moment, neither too late nor too early, but perfectly timed. For when heaven proclaims that the designated time for evil has concluded, nothing on earth can hinder its demise. Not the plots of the wicked, not the might of corruption, not even the silence of fear, as stated in Isaiah 54 verses 1-7, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Yes, my dear, on that day the weapon of darkness was rendered powerless because heaven had declared it. The thief's time was over. The era of terror had come to a close, and what the adversary believed was concealed was brought into the light. Keep this in mind, my dear, when I determine that the end of evil has arrived. It cannot hide. It cannot flee. It cannot succeed. And just as I acted then, so I will act again in your life. Because no darkness lasts forever when heaven makes a declaration. Enough, my cherished child. I am on the verge of elevating you. Not at some distant time. Not eventually. I'm referring to right now, in this very season. The upliftment you've been longing for, praying for, and believing in is here. Your time of being overlooked has come to an end. Your season of being bypassed is over. I am about to present you with an opportunity unlike any you've ever had. Something entirely new. Something you have yet to experience. An open door that is perfectly aligned with who you are and where I am guiding you. This is not just any opportunity. This is the opportunity that transforms everything. I am unlocking doors for you. Doors that have been shut are now turning. Doors you were unaware of are swinging wide open. Doors that appeared permanently closed are being flung open by my powerful hand. I will elevate you from the bottom to the top. A complete turnaround of your situation. What seemed like your lowest moment was actually your launching pad. Your time in the valley was preparing you for life on the mountain. Everything that has been taken from you is returning home. Your joy, your peace, your resources, your relationships, your dreams. Everything the enemy has stolen is being restored with interest. Your days of lack are over. No more scarcity, no more struggle, no more just getting by. Anything that has been troubling you or obstructing your life is being removed. Every barrier is being cleared from your way. I have addressed all your needs. Now, I am attending to your desires. Trust me, I love you. Your promotion begins now. My weary child. I understand there is much on your mind. I see how your thoughts dart from one concern to another. The bills that need to be paid, the decisions that require making, the issues that need resolving. Your mind never seems to find rest, does it? You are battling every day to care for your family and preserve your peace. I observe you managing responsibilities, striving to be strong for everyone who relies on you. Each morning, you rise and don that courageous facade, ready to tackle whatever challenges arise. Yet, deep down, you're weary from the unending struggle.